Okay, so normally I don't show, I just give updates and whatnot, but this time, this is we're finally one last piece. This is a very difficult piece, so this part's going to be kind of long and boring. I've already sanded this side. You can see a lot of this. I don't know if it's really if it's noticeable. Well, it's kind of noticeable. Where I got super glue all over this when I was gluing these pieces in. So some of these pieces look kind of wonky. I don't know if I like that or not. I may have to try to sand this a little bit better. The problem is, I don't know if around this, like, there's virtually nothing left here. I can't sand like sections like this anymore. I can see I've got plenty on these edges, but this one here, there's virtually nothing left. Hopefully I didn't just break that. Anyway, but I got this piece all done last night. I've been plugging away on this side all day today. It's already 1 o'clock. I've got about 45 minutes before I got an appointment, so hopefully, the sad thing, 45 minutes, I might be able to finish this in that time. But I basically, this side you can see a lot of this discoloration. That's the super glue. That's basically what I want to show is before I sand how rough it looks. And the other side looked worse than this. All this through here looked really bad on the other side. But once I sanded it, it comes out quite a bit. So anyway, the last part of this will be how I've been going about doing all these really tiny cuts and everything. And basically, like I said earlier, this method that I'm about to show right here, this kind of works. It works, but it doesn't. Basically what I'm doing is I'm running my fingernail along this edge to get a good crease in the tape, the entire length of where this hole is. So that way, hopefully, when I cut this out, it'll be really close to accurate. Now, what I meant by this works, but it doesn't. It gets me close. Because once I cut this out, it's a little bit smaller. And out of all the other pieces that I've done so far, I'm kind of I can kind of eyeball it a little bit. See, I just wow, that really, and therein lies the problem. So what I ended up cutting was, as I'm cutting along the edge, I went into the void. So now I've got a big step down right there. I may end up having to redo this altogether. And the other thing that I found when I'm doing this is I wonder if I can save that piece. Ooh, maybe. Let's see, that's the problem. So maybe that'll stay there. If I come from this end and try, I'll just pull the tape. So I have to work from the center down to that edge. Come on, where's it at? Where I've got more. Oh man. There we go. This is extremely extremely meticulous. Sorry if I'm getting quiet. I tend to talk quieter when I'm... See? Whenever I'm concentrating, I tend to focus more on what I'm... Man, I am jacking this up. So it looks like D-O-D-O. What's that spell? Do. Man, that looks rough. Egads. May have to redo this. Okay, so I got most of it. Now I can tell here I'm not quite all the way to the end. I'm really shallow here. And I missed by quite a bit here. So what I may end up needing to do, man, I don't know. If you happen to watch this and you decide to build your own Beagle, strongly suggest every single piece of, if you notice on the desk right here, I've got all this scrap. I want to save that piece. I've got a whole bunch of very fine, got my big piece there, but I've got all these small pieces that are like this piece here. I can't even pick it up with my fat fingers. All right, pieces like this, which I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, let me just flap my hand, and I dropped it. Can't hold on to the daggum thing. I don't know if you can see that or not. I've used several pieces like this. Sorry, the camera angle's probably jacked. But this is like just a sliver of what I have. And I've used several pieces like this. Especially on these pieces down here. Let me see if I can get this in here. There's one that starts here and runs all the way to here. There's another one here that runs all the way to there. I've got a bunch of little patches done in here, but basically wherever, like on these ends here, like I should try to put one in here because there's a gap right there. But even along where all this stuff meets up together, I've used it all along here, all along in where I'm bringing the bottom to the top. So a lot of those pieces come in handy. So don't throw anything away, no matter what you may think oh, this is trash. If you look right at the base of where I've got a pile, all of this, I have been using a lot of this towards the end of the second layer here. So it all comes in handy. And I know for a fact that this same material will be on the interior of each of these sides. And I'm not sure how much more elsewhere it will end up coming into play. And plus I've got all of my tools over here on this side. But here's my stock material over here. And then over the instructions, I've got all the large cutoffs that I'm also using, plus saving for other parts of this. Where did the piece go? Did I just shove that back in there? Oh well. I don't want to use that big piece. I think that one's big enough, yep. Okay, let's see if we can get something in the ballpark here. And basically all I do is I just set this down I'll use one edge as best as possible. So hopefully I don't have to do that much of a cut. Okay, now the problem is that I just did, I set this down and I forgot the orientation of it. So I don't know if that's top or bottom, or if that's, which way is this? I think that's it. So let me, on the back side of this, put a black dot, so that's the top. Hopefully I'll remember that. Okay, so now back to the cut. So you guys actually get to see me actually working right now, so it's, since I never actually show my work, I just show my progress. Because, I don't know, is it really interesting watching somebody working on something this slow and meticulous? See, like that'd be a really good piece right there for one of those, that long, very thin tapered. I would have used the heck out of that piece earlier. And if you build this, that's a great way to do this, is take a flat edge, put it on a long piece, and then just kind of angle it a little bit and then start to cut, and you'll get a long sliver with a V, just like that. Let me put that right, just like that. So, and I try to cut past where my tape is at. Herein lies the problem that I've been finding. This does come in handy for doing this. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, because this is small enough and has some girth, I can press it down and put a lot of pressure on there. When I first started doing these, as I was cutting it, my piece that I was cutting would slide or shift or something. So by doing it this way and putting a lot of pressure downward on this, it keeps it from getting a bad cut. Come on, let go. Man, this is the one I did last night. I think I worked on it for over an hour. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. I cut that just right. Happy accidents. Okay. So that's part's working out. Half of it's done. Let's see if we can get the other half. So wherever I put my tape, I try to cover up the tape so I'm cutting just a little bit bigger. Let me cut this other part first. This is just, building a wooden boat is a act of perseverance and patience. I don't know if I cut that all the way. There it goes. Let's check that before we start whittling on it. So I think I didn't go far enough. But that shows you how small of a piece of wood that is. It's tiny. And the other problem is, because my lights are on each side of where I work, I'm working in the shed. I need a light like right over the top of me and coming down, which even then I'd probably, oh, that looks really good. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, I got a little bit right there at the bottom. I'm glad I didn't see things like that. I was about to cut off a whole bunch over here. I actually need all that. So where my part's not fitting is, I don't know if you can see that or not, but on this bottom edge right here by my thumb, there's just a little bit of wood sticking out there. And that's what's holding me out from being an almost perfect fit. I probably still have a little bit of gap in there. Come on, let go. Oh no. Okay. So literally this sliver is all I ended up cutting off. And of course, I've got a little bit of a bulge right there. I think I cut into that a little too much. Looks like I did. Okay, that's my top. Let me peel off the tape. Come on. There we go. Please don't break. I was working on another piece a little bit ago. It was a pretty small piece. It was one of these down here. I get it fit perfect, and then it was like, so what I broke this piece like 4 or 5 times, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've got a seam right here where there's a little seam here, because this piece was so narrow and so long, it actually goes all the way to here, this whole piece. And I finally got it in there, and I realized that I was too short, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I sanded on this thing. This whole piece right here took me almost an hour to do. And I finally got it in there, had it all glued down. That's when I realized, oh, it's too short. I said, screw it, I'll cut in a new piece, and I'll have a seam right there. So whenever I put this on display, I think I'll have to make sure to have facing this way so that my screw ups don't show up over there. Okay, I'm gonna end up dropping this. Come here, you. All right, here's a test fit. That's really jagged. So whenever I cut these really, really fine, long pieces like this, I get there's a jagged edge all along from here to here, which won't sit. Yeah. I'm sanding the edge of a piece of paper right now. Literally. This is the width of well, maybe 2 pieces of paper. That's how narrow this stuff is. Ooh, I almost broke that. I heard it crack. There we go. There's my top. When I cut my tape, I've got a little sliver of tape down in here. I don't want any blue showing up through the edges. Come on. Did I get it? All right. Oh, got so many pieces down here. Okay. This actually looks pretty good. I've got a little bit of hangover right here, and oh, did I just break it? Oh, shit. I did. Didn't break off, though. Stay there. All right, let's get some glue on this. Here's the other problem that I have happen a lot. Things like right there, I just slip my hand a little bit and then end up breaking it a little bit. That's in. Okay. The thing that I find most distressing sometimes is like I'll get a piece and I'll have it in and I'll be gluing it down, and before I get it completely into position, the glue will set it in place, and then once it gets kind of mostly in place all the way, it's like, okay, there's no moving it, and then I'll have to strip it out, spend all that time making a piece just to pull it back out and rip it out and start all over. Let go. Or glue my finger to the side of the hole. And there we go. There is the final piece of the puzzle. I've got a really big gap right there, but I can fill that later. So after I put a piece in, I use the end of my screwdriver here to really get it to seat. And voila, which is French for there it is. All done. The last piece went in. Feels pretty good. It looks pretty good. Like I said, I've got a decent sized gap. I don't know if the light's blocking that or not, but there's a little bit of gappage right there, which I can deal with. Again, I will probably display this way, which this side's a little bit, I've got a little bit of gap there too. But again, this is right after what it looks like, right after finishing, which is still kind of rough. You can see a lot of the discoloration from the super glue. But anyway, there we go. Second layer is finished. So tonight, most likely, I will put the keel on and finish the back. So that's my next step, actually, is right here before I put the keel on. I got to close in all this here. And I think I have to start working on this piece here. So there we go. I'll sand everything out, finish up the back end, put the keel on, then I think I'm gonna have to start painting the black and white and black that's along this edge. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping watching. Something on a different note, I noticed the other day I'm up to 20 subscribers, which is phenomenal to me because You will never hear me ask to hit the like button, subscribe. This will be the only time you'll ever hear me say these things. Because I don't, again, I don't do this stuff for normal YouTube people trying to build a channel or anything. I just do this because it's part of my hobby. So for everyone who has subscribed, thank you very much. Thanks for coming along on this stuff, and I greatly appreciate it. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks. Take care.